Let's get right into the economic collapse, the political theater, and the massive geopolitical chess match playing out right before our eyes. You see it, I see it, and the American people see it. The deep state, the corrupt politicians, the big tech fake news apparatus, and the puppet masters are losing their grip. Every single day that passes, Donald Trump is gaining more and more leverage. And that is exactly what the establishment is terrified of, especially when it comes to Iran. Remember all the warmongers in D.C., the talking heads in the mainstream press, and the deep state operatives who have been dragging this country into endless foreign wars for decades? They still don't get it. Trump isn't here to put American boots on the ground for some globalist regime change fantasy. That's the only playbook the old guard deep state knows. But Trump is playing a completely different game. Just look at what he's already done to Iran. He used the War Powers Act to completely dismantle them, wiping out their high-ranking leaders, destroying their weapons caches, pulverizing their air force, and sinking their navy until their little speedboats were sitting at the bottom of the ocean. He stripped away their leverage in one swift move, paused, and essentially told the world the mission was accomplished, because the United States now controls the Strait of Hormuz, and it is completely shut down. Now, he's moved on to phase 2, and it is a masterclass in economic warfare. He is suffocating their economy, dismantling everything the regime built, and squeezing them until they have no choice but to bend to the will of the United States, which means ultimately, the deep state players backing them are going to have to take a knee and surrender. He's applying maximum pressure, slowly but surely, and the Iranian regime is feeling the heat intensify every single day. And if you think what just happened with Israel was a coincidence, wake up. It was a total setup. Trump just gave the world a devastating demonstration of what happens when you refuse to make a deal on his terms. The skeptics out there will claim Trump isn't pulling the strings, but just look at the targets Israel hit. Trump and Israel are working hand in hand, and Trump is running the entire show. He's playing the good cop while Israel plays the bad cop, and it's brilliant. He had to show the deep state and the mullahs in Iran exactly what the consequences look like if they refuse to sign on the dotted line. Israel's strike was just a tiny preview of the coming attractions. Trump is systematically stripping the leverage away from Iran and the deep state because every day their economy implodes further, their citizens get angrier, and weapons are quietly flowing into the country to back the people. In the end, the IRGC and their deep state allies won't be able to hold the line because they have absolutely nothing left. Trump even called it out perfectly, reminding everyone that Iran only has about 21 to 22% of their missile stockpile remaining. They aren't getting resupplied by China, and their manufacturing capability is completely down the drain because they can't get the parts. He put those numbers out there on purpose to let the entire world know that Iran is running on empty. And he took it a step further with a clear warning. If you fire what little missiles you have left at our Middle Eastern allies or U.S. bases, any damage you cause is coming straight out of your wallet because we are going to seize your money. It's called America First. It's called winning. And the deep state is powerless to stop it. So what Donald Trump is doing is systematically stripping away their leverage, their bargaining chips, their entire playbook. This isn't your grandfather's warfare. In fact, it's not even a traditional war. Notice anything missing? 0 American boots on the ground. This isn't the DC establishment's tired old routine of marching into a country, toppling a dictator, and getting stuck in a multi-decade quagmire. No. Trump is using an entirely different set of tactics. He's using maximum leverage to force them to bend to his will. Now, the critics are whining that this method takes a little bit longer than just sending in the Marines. Sure, it takes time. But guess what you don't get? Endless bloody conflicts that drag on forever, like the deep state gave us in Afghanistan and Syria and then Iraq. We are done with the forever wars. Trump is using pure game theory, and the whiteboard in Mar-a-Lago knows exactly how long this takes. And at this point, the clock is running out fast for the mullahs. We are watching it happen in real time. And when the dust settles and Trump gets exactly what he wants, every single one of these talking heads who said he was doing it wrong, that Iran was too strong, that he needed to launch an invasion, they are all going to look completely foolish. Remember the grand strategy here. This is about decentralizing oil and permanently freeing the Strait of Hormuz. Trump already has the major players on the board aligned: Russia, Europe, even China. They've all agreed on the exact same thing. The strait must remain completely open to global shipping. Trump is just the one making it happen. And once it is, the weaponized oil panics and the state-sponsored terror we've lived with for decades are finished. Trump is going to completely dismantle the energy stranglehold that the Obama administration put into place. And here's the kicker. In the final act, they'll hand over the uranium, and those isotopes are going to trace right back to Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and the rest of the deep state crew. This is a totally different breed of warfare, which is exactly why the fake news media gets it wrong every single time. And you see the exact same deep state panic playing out right here at home when you look at California and the elections happening right now. We all know California is completely corrupt. We know the system was built from the ground up to manipulate the outcome. Look at Spencer Pratt. The system was never going to just let him win. Because when you have a rigged apparatus in place, you need an absolute overwhelming tsunami of voters just to override the machine. They are stringing this count out over days and weeks, trying to manufacture just enough votes to knock out the outsiders. Now, the race isn't officially over yet. There's still time before the July deadlines, and maybe Pratt can counter their moves. But we all knew the cheating mechanism was spinning. But here's what the corrupt bureaucrats in Sacramento didn't realize. Trump is using their own cheating against them to build the ultimate trap. He wanted them to do it. Why? Because it gives him the undeniable, airtight proof he needs to pass the SAVE Act and secure a Supreme Court ruling demanding one-day voting with 0 mail-in ballots accepted after Election Day. The election system is legally classified as critical American infrastructure, which makes this a massive national security threat. Lawyers like Harmeet Dillon and Bill Esseley have been fighting for over a year just to get California to hand over its dirty voter rolls, hitting a brick wall of progressive resistance every step of the way. But now, by letting them flaunt their corruption in broad daylight, Trump is winning the war of public opinion. The American people are watching the scam happen in real time. And when Trump famously walked right off the set of Meet the Press, he turned a massive spotlight onto the entire farce. Now the whole country is looking at California saying, yeah, something is seriously wrong here. The trap is sprung, the investigations are rolling, and Trump is holding all the cards. And we all know the investigation doesn't happen while the cameras are rolling and the ballots are still being stuffed. No, the real investigation happens afterward. And mark my words, Donald Trump is going to use this absolute disaster in California, alongside the ongoing explosive investigations we're seeing out of Fulton County and Maricopa County. The American people are watching this steal happen in real time. We don't have to look backward at 2020 anymore, because you are seeing the crime scene fresh today. This whole operation, combined with everything else we're tracking, is laying bare the exact blueprint of how they rigged these elections. And it looks like the deep state players fell headfirst right into the trap. We are going to expose all of this a little bit later in the report, but first, we have to look at Hollywood. Because remember, the deep state masters have always used Tinseltown and the music industry to hypnotize the masses and control the narrative. But the spell has officially broken, and the American people are tuning out. Rasmussen Reports just dropped a brutal new poll showing that less than a third of Americans think Hollywood has a positive impact on the country. And even fewer say that liberalism defines the movie industry anymore. People are completely fed up with the garbage movies, the exhausting wokeism, and the endless lecturing. The entire entertainment industry is on the verge of a massive, forced collapse. And it's going to change for the better because they don't have an audience left. Meanwhile, on our streets, Trump and his team are executing a massive cleanup, systematically removing illegal aliens from this country. Right now, we are seeing illegal immigrants self-deporting in droves because they know the free ride is over. But for the ones who refuse to leave, Trump is deploying Tom Homan and his team to hunt down the worst of the worst, the gang members, the violent criminals, and the cartel operators. In a major escalation, the Justice Department, under the relentless leadership of Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, has officially moved to strip U.S. citizenship from 17 naturalized sex offenders, fraudsters, and drug dealers. Under the Immigration and Nationality Act, if you lie, conceal material facts, or willfully misrepresent yourself to steal American citizenship, your paperwork is canceled and you are out. Acting AG Todd Blanche put it perfectly, stating that gaining U.S. citizenship is a sacred privilege, and this DOJ has a zero-tolerance policy for criminal aliens who exploit the system. For the first time since 1930, more people are moving out of America than moving in. And Stephen Miller noted that these are migrants realizing the door is shutting and choosing to return home. Trump's administration gave them a clear choice: self-deport now, go back to a port of entry, and try to go through the legal process, or wait for the hammer to drop. Because if Homan's guys deport you, you are never coming back. The Democrats and the deep state are losing their voter base in real time, and they are panicking like there is no tomorrow. And speaking of global panic, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is absolutely losing his mind right now because Trump just made a stunning geopolitical power move to purchase the Chagos Islands in the Indian Ocean. Remember, this is the home of our critical, top-secret Diego Garcia military base. Starmer was getting ready to foolishly hand this strategically vital territory over to Mauritius, a known ally of China and Iran, and was actually going to make British taxpayers pay for the right to do it. But White House officials have just drafted a brilliant alternative that would bypass London completely, allowing the United States to acquire the islands directly, killing Starmer's weak agreement and securing the base to keep Iran and China in check. It's the ultimate art of the deal, and it proves exactly what Politico was whining about in their latest article. They pointed out that during the campaign, Trump promised there would be no new wars. And he's keeping that promise, not by being weak, but by taking away every single piece of leverage the warmongers have left. During his victory speech, Donald Trump looked the American people in the eye and promised, "I am going to stop the wars. I will not send you to fight and die in stupid foreign wars that never end." And right on cue, the mainstream media and the Washington warmongers are trying to claim he's already breaking his promise with Iran. But let's look at the actual chess match taking place here. Trump didn't start this conflict. The deep state operatives started it decades ago.